Hello, this is Cecia. I'm gonna do Lab 4 Part A. So first, I'm just gonna create a new project. Let's call this Part 4A. Okay, so this will be question number 1, and it's gonna be creating a file and looping the first 5 lines. So first of all, let's create a text file. Okay, let's just grab some relics. So let's grab 10 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Copy. Let's paste this. Okay, do we have 10 lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay, that's 10 lines. So let's call this relics. Okay. Now we can close this. First of all, we need to import. So import the Java util scanner, and once you import the thing that's gonna actually allow us access the classes to read a file. So it'll be java.io.star. Okay. And here, since we are dealing with files, we can put throws IO exception. Now we can start. And first of all, before everything, we want to declare our variables, which will be counter. And it's just gonna keep track of our lines. Keep track of the lines. And then scanner keyboard, we're gonna make a object for the scanner class, new scanner system.n. And now we can ask the user to type in their file name. Print on, enter the name of the file. Okay. And then we're gonna store their file under string file name equals keyboard next line. Okay. Now we need to make an object of that file. Create new file name. Okay. So now we need to make an object for the input file equals new scanner, and we're gonna grab the file of the user, and this actually is gonna allow, so it's gonna read the files. the file, the lines, yeah. Okay. Okay. The file. Now we can loop for 5 lines. So it's gonna be wow. And then we're gonna grab our variables here and we're gonna put it here. So input file has what is it? Has next line is here. Next line also, and count is less than 5. Then we're gonna create another variable which should be string line equals keyboard next line. System.print. It is gonna print the line, and then that's gonna be it. We put it as counter. Dot close. We need to close this. Let's see if it works. Enter. Okay, enter the file. So we're gonna go back to our file. And we're gonna copy as path. I'm gonna paste it. Okay, it's not reading though. So that's the problem here. Okay, so when we tried it, it didn't work. It's not reading the lines. Okay, so the input file, we should input file here. Let's see if that works. Let's close this and then let's open. Okay, so it works. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the first 5 lines. Okay, so that's question number 1. Okay, so I'm gonna start with question number 2, which will be reading and writing a new file. So first of all, we need to import the Java scanner from Java library. That will allow the user to input their information. To scanner, and then read to import was going to give us the access to read into the files. To access file related handling classes, excuse me. I start. Okay. Then we can go down here. Throws IOE exception. Okay. Now we can declare our variables. So it will be string file name, and then string our second file name, and then our integer for the outlines, which we will put at 1. Now we can get the object for the scanner keyboard. Keyboard equals new scanner system.in. Okay. Now we can get the user's files. So we're gonna type in system.out.println, enter the name of your file, and then we're gonna store their input into file name equals keyboard dot next line. Now we're gonna do the same as for the second file, so it's gonna be system.it.out.println, enter the name of your second file, semicolon, and then it's gonna be second file name equals keyboard dot next line. Okay, now we can hold the files, so it's gonna be file name here, and then we're gonna create this object that's gonna be able to read the files. Okay, so it's gonna be a new scanner, and then the same file. And now we're gonna put printer right print. Let me just double check that. It's print writer output. That's just gonna give us that's gonna let our program rewrite our file. But first of all, before we do this, we need to create our second file. So we're gonna use the same file that we used on question number 1, and we're just gonna add another one. So we're gonna save this as relix rewritten. Okay, so that's saved. Now we can go back new file, and then we're gonna enter the new data to a second file. Just print writer, and then that's gonna hold our second file. Okay. Okay, so now we need to make a loop. Loop for I lines. So it's gonna be while input has next line, and just gonna check if in this data text file have other lines. So when that's true, it's gonna come down to string line, and now it's gonna read the lines of the text file. Input dot next line. Now we need a if statement. So if input modulus 2 is not equal to 0, it's not equal to 0, it's not equal to 0. Okay, so we're not checking things up the odd lines. Odd lines. So make sure to check the thing is. So it's gonna be line equals line to uppercase. That's gonna change each every odd line to uppercase. The entire case. Okay. So now we're gonna go out, and we're gonna write the output dot print equal line, and then we're gonna close it. Output. We need to close the files. This one here. We need to make sure that the odd lines is being incremented, meaning it's gonna check by 1. Input, close, and then output, close, That should be it. Okay, is this build successful? Let's see. Okay, let's close this. Okay, now we can type in our files. So this one, we're gonna copy their path. And the second one is this one. Copy the path. And let's check. Let's see. Okay, so we tried it, but given this, so it works, but let's say we drop somewhere. Okay, so it's supposed to be output dot print line. That's why. So let's try this again. Copy the path. And let's check. Open. Let's make a new one. So it's gonna be Relix revised. Let's see if that works. Copy. And second file. Oh, copy. Okay, so it's working, but I just need to close the project. Let me try again because I fixed this error. Copy as path. That's the original file. And we're gonna copy the next file. Copy as path. And then we'll see if it works. We're gonna go here. Then we're gonna open the file. Open to, and it works. Every odd number line is uppercase. So that's question number 2. Okay, I'm gonna start with question number 3. And it's just a random numbers generator. So first of all, we need to import the scanner from the Java library. So java.util.scanner, and also import java.io that's gonna give us access for file handling classes. And also we need to import the java.util random. And that's gonna let us use the random generator to generate random numbers. Okay. Now down here, we need to type throws IO exception. Okay, first of all, before we begin, we need to create our files. So save as, we need 4 files. So this is the random numbers. Save. Next will be save as the even numbers. The next one will be saved as odd numbers. And the last file will be stats, where we're gonna put how many even and odd numbers there were. Okay, saved as stats. Okay, now we can go back. And we can initialize our variables now. It will be even number equals 0. We're just gonna keep track of our numbers. Number equals 0, then add number. Okay, now we need to create the random generator. equals new random. Okay, and I'm just gonna put comment random generator. Now we can make the print writer random, so that's gonna allow our program to write random numbers in our first file, which was random numbers. And we need to bring our file, so let's call this instead random file to not get it confused. And we're gonna go here. We're gonna copy the path for this. And we're gonna delete this. Okay. And I'm just gonna allow the program to actually write in the file. So now we can make our loop. So for int I equals 0, and we need to make this run for 5,000 times. So okay. Okay, so now we should make sure that the numbers stays in the range between 1,000. So it's gonna be num equals ren next integer. Then it's gonna be random file trend, and then would be number. Then we can close this random file close. Okay, now let's run this. Okay, now now that it's written in the file, we can open the file. This is gonna close it. Now we can open the file again. New file, and it's gonna be this. Copy, paste. Okay. And now we need to make sure that the scanner reads the file. So we're gonna put the scanner input scanner input equals new scanner file. Okay, now we can make print writers for the other files. So for even, odd, and stats. So it's gonna be print writer even numbers. Even number equals new print writer. And then we're just gonna go and find the path. We're gonna find the path for even file, the text file, copy its path, delete this and this. And then we're gonna do the same thing for the rest. Odd number equals new print writer. Copy. And this is just gonna allow the program to put in the new data. Okay. Copy its path. Okay. Okay. So now this was supposed to be file, even file. Excuse me. Okay, now we can make the loop to make sure the loop to separate even and odd. Okay. Okay, so now we can put while input has next. So as long there is another integer, this will allow to read the next number. The next number. Okay, so this reads every number. Reads every integer. Okay, so we're gonna need a if statement. So if even number. So meaning is if it's even, it will print to the even file. Print number, and then the even number needs to be incremented. Even number needs to be incremented in even number. Okay. And then else, so if it isn't that, it will go to the odd file, meaning it's odd dot println number, and it's going to be odd number incremented by 1. Okay. I'm just gonna close that. Okay, so now we need to close the files. So input, close, even file, close, odd file, close, and we're still not gonna close the stats because we need to add the numbers. So it's gonna be stat file dot print line the numbers that are even is even numbers, and stat file dot print line the numbers that are odd is odd numbers. Okay, and now we can close the stat file, and then we can run it. So let's see. Okay, so this is built successfully. Let's check. Okay, so from what I can see is numbers. And then let's check the even numbers. Let's open this. Open. Let's close this. Let's run this again. Okay, so that's the even numbers, and I see even, yes. Okay, Now let's check the odd. Open. Odd. Odd numbers. Is 399351. Okay, that's the odd numbers. Let's check the stats. Open stats. Okay, so numbers that are even is 2510, and numbers that are odd is 2490s, but that should be added up. I'm gonna check if it's 5,000, so 2510 plus 2490 equals 5,000. So that's question number 3. It works. Thank you for watching.